Okay. I'm Linda Lambert. I've been there my whole life, so 70 years.
Bobby Lambert, I've been there ever since we got married, which is in 68, right?
Mm-hmm.
1968. So,
52 years.
52 years.
I can remember my grandmother, who lived right across the street from me, was such a generous woman. And I remember one time when I was really little seeing her carrying ice water out to prisoners who were digging a ditch beside her house in the hot summer sun. And that impressed me that she would take the time to do that. And then I've thought of all the people that I've known at St. Peter's. You know, we've been worshiping in the shelter, and I couldn't help but my eyes kept going over to the cemetery and seeing the different gravestones and seeing the names, and I'd see the names and I'd think about that person, and I'd think about all that they had done, you know, given their time, their talent, their treasures to get me where I am today. And it just really meant a lot to me that they did all of that for me, you know, and so I feel compelled to do that, to continue what they started in me. Well, you know, when we first got married, we were starting to build a house like so many people, so it was always, you know, and we built a little bit along, so you're always like, we want to finish this room, we want to finish this room, and then the children start coming and all their activities. So, and then, you know, job insecurities, you know, we went through what everybody goes through. You know, everybody has their story, but we always, because we've always been involved in the church, and it's been such a blessing that we've been involved in the church, we always manage to give, you know, and we always strive to, you know, each year try to do a little more. And, you know, I don't think there was ever a time that we didn't say, that we thought, well, maybe we shouldn't have given that last week. We really needed that this week. That's never happened. We've always managed, you know, we maybe adjusted our spending a little bit or whatever, but we've never looked back and said, gee whiz, we shouldn't have done that. You know, God's always provided for us, so.
Now, we have over the years upped our giving. You know, initially at first, I always felt like, hey, if I can afford to go out and spend a night out in town or something like that, then I ought to be able to give at least that much to the church. And then as time goes on, I feel like now that I should be giving as much to the church as proportionally to everybody. If you join a club or something that you expect to pay dues, I think I should be contributing at least that amount of money. But then beyond that, I realize that there's a lot more people in the world that has more money than I got, but there's a lot of people in the world that has less money than I got. So therefore, I should be giving beyond what I consider my fair share, okay? And to me, that's because the church is giving to the community and to the world. That's just like when we go on vacation or a trip or something like that, we give for that particular week just like we're there, simply because, hey, the church doesn't give up or shut down because we're not there. It has to go on, and it has to meet certain needs. And you know, at one time I used to give so much to the church, and then if I was off somewhere else, if I gave there, I'd say, well, you know, maybe I won't give as much back at the home church. But then I got to thinking about that, and I said, well, that's not right, because the home church still has to go on. So now I keep giving to that, but if I'm off at another church, I'll give them something too. Just a natural thing to do, because it's all going in the same place. You know, so.
All serving God.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, it says in the Bible that God loves a cheerful giver. And I really am so thankful for all that God has done for me. I mean, some people don't realize I've survived 3 cancers. So technically probably I shouldn't even be here, but I'm here. And I am so thankful that I am here. And I love giving. I love giving to God. I just read in our little worship service, our daily bread or whatever it's called the other day, it said, God didn't put us on earth to work, to have a nice retirement. He put us on the earth to spread His word. And so when I see all that's happening in the world, and it's depressing, and I can't help everybody and everything, but I do know that if I give to the church, that I'm spreading the word, I'm helping my neighbor, I'm doing what I can do. So, any more?
Well, if you, one of the things I used to think about is this. Okay, we used to not give anything to the Senate, okay, our church, and that's an outreach. You're reaching people beyond what you can possibly reach yourself. And in the back of my mind, I always have felt like, you know, what goes around comes around. And just recently, like I said, we've started giving more to the Senate, and guess what's happened? We've got $8,000 coming back from us from the Senate, which in my interpretation, what goes around comes around. You've got to reach out. You shouldn't be expecting it to come back, but God, in certain ways, He looks out for you.
Yeah.
And that's why we went through some rough times at St. Peter's, but we always come back. And I think it's because God's looking after us.
Well, it has definitely deepened my faith. Studying the Bible, and you know, you read in the gospel how Jesus, no matter how tired He was, no matter how upset He was, He never turned anybody down. He always had compassion for everybody. And He said, if you do it to the least of these, my brethren, you've done it to me. So if He leads by an example, then that's what I need to be doing. So I love St. Peter's with all my heart, soul, and body. I love everybody there at the church. I hope that their generosity journey will grow and their heart will expand, which is all good.
And I think everybody, if they just explore what their main goals in life are, you can always see where you give a little bit more than what you're giving. I know I could, as far as that goes, and sometimes it happens where I give more than what I would normally give, but everybody gives a portion of what they can give, and those people that can give more should give more, because the other people cannot give as much as they can. You've been more fortunate than other people, so therefore try to repay.
You'll never miss it. I have never found that I missed giving what I gave.